Today, I want to talk about budgeting and the different budgeting methods that can be used to track your income and your expenses. We're even going to use a live example of someone making $4,083 a month take home, which is your net income. And I came up with a $4,000 a month because on average, the average American makes around $62,000 a year. And it varies, depends on state. If you lived in Mississippi, it's around, they say around $49,000 a year. And if you live like Washington, D.C. or California, it's about $120,000. But we're going to keep it really simple and low. We're going to try the $4,000 per month take home income. And here's the truth. When it comes to budgeting, it's not, the different methods is not conducive to everybody. One, what will work for one person might not work for someone else. It depends on your lifestyle, your personality. So that's why I want to give you 6 of the most popular budgeting methods, and you choose from there. Because you still, regardless of what method you choose, you need to choose a method. You need to have a vision, you need to have a plan, and you need to execute on it. You need to know how much money you got coming in, and you need to know how much money you're putting out there and how much money you're saving. Because the goal is to build wealth and to leave a legacy. Now, before we go into each one of these methods here, um, let's just talk about how much effort is going to take in some of these methods, right? And as you see, some is very low effort versus some is very high effort. And that's just how much time it takes to maintain them and to set it up. There are 6 methods here. One is the 50-30-20 method, which is 50% of your needs you budget out, 30% of your wants, and 20% of your income goes to savings. 50% goes to needs, 30% goes to wants, and 20% goes to savings. And then you have your zero-based budget. Every dollar is assigned to some category. Then you have your pay yourself first. Save first, spend the rest. Very low effort, but you also have to have a lot of discipline as well with that effort. The envelope method, cash in labeled categories. I tried that, and the problem that happens with that is when you get down to the change, what are you going to do with that? You're going to put it in a jar, you're going to put it in the bank. I don't like cash because it's hard to keep up with, and if your house burned down, if you get robbed, you lost your whole budget, lost everything. Then there's Dave Ramsey, the 7 baby steps to wealth. And then there's the anti-budget. That's probably my favorite one, anti-budget. But what I started out with was I personally started out with the 50, 30, and 20. And then as I got accustomed and to budgeting, then I graduated to the lowest effort. Okay, pay yourself first is another budget method. Pay yourself first is probably the simplest concept in personal finance. The moment your paycheck hits, you transfer your savings amount to another account before you pay any bills, before you pay anybody else, and you live on what's ever left. The flow looks like the paycheck arrives. This example right here, we're going to use $4,083 arrives into your bank account. You immediately move $817. That's 20% to your savings or investments. Then you handle your fixed bills. Then you spend the remaining $3,266 however you want throughout the month. No tracking required. This works because it removes the decision from the equation. Most people save what's left over at the end of the month, which is usually nothing. But anyway, pay yourself first flips that. Your savings become automatically and you Build your lifestyle around what's left and not the other way around. This is really good for someone who has a stable income, doesn't have serious spending issues, overspending issues, and you just need a reliable way to build savings consistently. Set it up as an automatic transfer and you're done. Set it and forget it. That's the best way to do it when it comes to saving. The key word here is automation. So you set it up, one transfer, one time, and it happens every paycheck without you having to think about it or motivating yourself to do it. I don't really recommend this method for someone who's just starting out budgeting, or someone who has some financial challenges. But when you get your budget in order, then you can graduate to pay yourself first. To pay yourself first. You can graduate to that. The problem is not the savings part. The problem is the spend freely part without tracking and where everything is going. Right. That's what it gets tricky right here. Out of the 6 budget methods, the 50-30-20, the pay yourself first, the anti-budget, the Dave Ramsey, the envelope method, out of all the budgets, the best budget is the one you're actually going to use. And I want to leave you with one thought. Start simple, build a habit, and adjust as your life changes. Adjust as your life change. Start simple. Pick one method and try just for 30 days. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. And if you want support building a budget that's tailored for your income, your goals, and your life, that's exactly what we do here at Coleman Financial Firm. Our financial coaching services start at $125, and we'll work with you one-on-one to choose the right method, build your budget for you, and help you stay accountable month to month. You can find us at colemanfinancialfirm.com or drop directly to us to get started. I'd love to help you with any questions you may have. And if you're not sure which method to start with, feel free to come talk to me, and I'm happy to point you in the right direction. No judgments at all. Been there, done it. Now I want to share my wealth of knowledge with everyone.